Does it say live? Are we live?
Is this thing on?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. What's up, man? How you doing, Gary?
Welcome, Tommy. Tommy runs.
Where are we?
We are live on the floor of the TRE Convention Center, the running event here in Austin, Texas.
Austin?
Ever?
I thought it was. Is it Austin, Texas?
They're in Austin, Texas.
I heard that they say keep it weird in Austin.
Well, this is going to get weird for sure.
This is going to get weird. So I don't know if they were trying to say keep Austin weird or keep everything that's said in Austin weird. What do you think?
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we want to say thank you to the running event for the invitation and the partnership on this first ever live stream, bringing you all the brands that are going to be announcing great things this week. I wish you could see the other side of the camera because it's so much going on, but you can kind of see through the booth here.
Yeah.
Of all the great things that are happening here. This room is huge.
It's the biggest room they had, from what I understand.
Is it?
Yes. The largest TRE event in the history of TRE.
And it really, though, I mean, if you think about that, though, for it to be our first time doing this, I think that TRE should probably just say thank you to the PR project for making this the biggest TRE ever.
Yeah, we'll take the 90% credit. I think.
You know, that's a sign of good leadership. You just let other people do stuff and then you take the credit.
Yeah.
So say thank you, Gary, to me.
I'm thankful for myself this Thanksgiving month.
All right. So all right. So we are live to the world. Hello to everyone across the seas and abroad. We're gonna bring up the lady of the hour. Our first guest of the day is Christina Henderson. She is the head of TRE, and we are gonna bring her up now. Gary, if you could scoot over for her, that'd be great. Let's do a round of applause from your home.
Did we put our headsets on?
Yeah. Oh, headsets. That's why I couldn't hear me. Hold on. Testing. Oh, wow. I can hear me. I sound really good on the microphone.
That is a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. So Christina, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. So you can just take the mic off just to, if you want to get fancy.
I loosened up a little bit, so you should be able to.
Yeah, you should be able to.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't be scared. So this is going to be the awkward moment that we make everyone do. Don't be scared. Just grab it, All right. So Christina, how are you feeling right now?
I am feeling great. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, I mean,
and happy you're here.
I'm glad I invited you.
Yeah.
All right, so tell everyone that's at home and here that are watching right now, like a little bit, quick overview of what the running event is, and then why it was important to live stream this.
Yeah, so the running event is the business event for the running industry. So we have about 310 exhibitors on the floor here. You've got your large footwear brands, you have the new emerging brands showing their future product. So we're really getting a look at the future of the running industry here. So what 2024 is going to look like. Our attendees are running store owners and buyers. So they are walking the floor, trying to pick out the product that they will sell in their store. We have media here, we have athletes here, influencers. So it's going to be a really fun couple of days.
You've got some great not-for-profits here as well. I think we're going to interview a couple of them throughout the next couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big part of what we do is, partner with organizations and that align with our mission and the change that we want to see in the running industry. So yeah, very excited about some of the guests that you'll be speaking with in the next couple of days.
And why was it important to kind of bring this to, I guess, the people?
Yeah, you can only come into the exhibit hall if you are in the running industry, right? And so we always get requests from consumers and, from people actually going into the running stores. They want to see that product, right? So this is kind of a peek into that, right? We can't fully open the doors. The business is taking place here, but we wanted to give a peek into what, the runners and walkers and, just active people can expect to see in the coming year and years.
That's great. I was wondering what brings TRE coming back to Austin, Texas every year? What's so special about Austin?
Yeah, so we've been here, I want to say about 10 years, and it really is just the home of the running event. It's such an active city. We have runs every morning, numerous ones. You just see everyone out and being active, and it really just feels like home when we come back here. So it just has a special place in the running industry's heart, I think, to come back to Austin every year.
One thing that I really do like about like the running event is this is my 3rd year here. Is it does kind of feel like a marathon weekend a little bit. Like it has all the shakeout, like it's almost like the shakeout
Right.
runs.
Yes,
Like
yes.
just this morning we kind of went to 2 events, 2 runs. So it is it's really fun. It really feels like one of those times where we all can get together and kind of commiserate over the thing that we love to do, which is running.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
such a great connection point. Like the energy,
Mhm.
like, yeah, I do wish we could have everyone at home, like be able to come in and walk these floors because the energy is just contagious and it gets me so excited for the running industry.
So this is the biggest one yet ever.
Ever.
Yeah. So you're welcome.
Thank you.
Tell me, like, I mean, how does that feel?
It feels so great. And, we have such a great team. I'm looking at many of them right now. And, none of this would be possible without them. You're going to make me emotional.
So the goal is to try to make you cry. So I'm going to try to ask
No.
another few questions to get this going. If we start the show, the live stream with a cry, I mean,
I know. Like, yeah, you picked
Keep
the right
going, keep
person.
going.
Like, I haven't been sleeping. Like,
okay.
We're,
So
just,
this is-
we're just trying to win a Webby Award. That's it.
a what?
A Webby. It's the Internet Awards.
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, let's
that's
do
it,
that.
That's it. That's what
Okay.
we're going for.
Okay.
So if we can get some tears,
yeah.
that'll
Yeah,
get us.
you picked the right. You picked the right gal. No, it really means so much. I think it shows the strength of the running industry as well. It's so in 2022 we had our largest exhibit floor by 20%. 2023 we are now 20% larger than that. So brands are growing their space, they're showing more product. We have products, we have brands and products that have never come before, who want to be a part of the running industry. They want to be sold in run specialty and outdoor specialty. So I think it really just shows the strength and the excitement around the sport of running and walking, and just being active outside right now.
Awesome.
One aspect that's not really running or walking is the pickleball court.
Yeah,
that
have y'all been back there?
I have not seen it yet, but I hear it's a full size, legit pickleball court.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we brought in a pickleball court. We have some great sponsors back there. Anyone walking around can go, I think you call it like dink around.
Oh.
With the that's a pickleball term.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, you can go test products out on the pickleball court. I haven't been back there. We kind of set it up this morning and it looks great. So I'm excited to get back there and see people hitting the pickleball around.
I mean, I can't wait to get back there and dink around. Honestly.
Yeah. You'll be busy here.
Yeah, like I'll get back and my kids are like, "What'd you do while you were there?" Well, she kind of dinked around
Yeah,
for
there
a
we
little
go.
bit. You know.
Yeah.
What was the reason to bring that aspect into the running event?
Yeah, great question.
Thank you.
Pickleball, I think everyone knows, but it's like the fastest growing sport in America, right? And so right now you mostly buy pickleball equipment online. Some large stores are now selling it, but Run Specialty sees that as an opportunity to bring in a new customer to their store. So we have some big sponsors here for the first time. Some of our running brands are starting to make pickleball products as well. So we do think that category will continue to grow.
Awesome.
Wait, before you ask me, I want to ask y'all a question.
I mean, I may answer.
Okay. Can I just, like, for everyone at home, can you just tell us like how the live stream came to be, right? I think back to, it was a few months ago now that we originally talked about this, and I just think it's a great story. So do one of you want to take that? Just tell the audience at home, why we're doing this and, how the idea came to be.
Good question.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's a great question. So glad you asked it. Yeah, so I had the thought to present this because I really loved the TRE experience and the running event experience that I had a chance to be a part of 2021 and 22, and I just know that the community and the running community really gets excited about hearing about what's happening at TRE, but like kind of like as a like an afterthought, and everybody's kind of buzzing like only the cool kids get to go, which is seems to be true, but it's like what way can we include the public and the normal the actual consumer to get excited about what's coming up into their retail shop sometime soon, and give the brands a chance to like express their voice and have a personality, and you kind of connect to the brand a little bit more than you would than just like a reel or like a commercial.
Right.
It's like, wow, that I like that person that represented that brand, and maybe I'll maybe go to the store and try to find out what they've got going on. So it was just like that way to kind of connect the missing piece, and because everyone in here, whether it's media, brands or retailers, the end consumer is the same thing. It's the people that are going to be
Right.
buying and wearing the shoes. So how about we bring them on in, maybe break that like fourth wall or whatever they call it, and show what's going on a little bit. And so I reached out and shout out to you and your team for hearing that and moving on the idea. And big shout out to Outside PR for bringing us together to make sure that we had that opportunity. Shout out to Spencer because she's the one that really kind of like she was the first person I talked to, but it was just a chance to do something different, a little innovative in this space, and bring what's happening here out to the public so everybody can be excited. And people should know like how great of an event this is, and like and how important it is for the running industry that we all kind of like rely on. So yeah, that's it. And so thank you for hearing that. And honestly, like we had a vision. We said, college game day vibe.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you tell your idea to a brand or a company, and it kind of comes through, and you're like, oh, this is cool, but then you legit overdid it, and I feel like a lot of imposter syndrome right now. I'm standing at a dais. Is this a dais or a desk?
We call it a desk. Dais is a small thing, like
Yeah.
the podium.
Oh, so this is like 5 daises together.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of those, and then we got a screen behind us. Like, it's kind of crazy. So thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, I think we really brought what I remember that first phone call. It was like, game day, right?
Yeah.
And like we are live from TRE with our desk, and I'm really happy, and we are so excited to have you here. And I know our time is gonna wrap up, but
yeah, we got to kick you out. We were
I know, but we have such a great lineup of people and brands coming through here. Can we tease any of them, or just for the people at home?
Well, right away next we have ASICS that's going to be up here talking about 2 shoes that are going to break the internet if they haven't already, because they've been seen on a few feet here and there in the running space. But we have a lot of other brands as well. Nike's going to be on later. We have a special guest there. Tap into the PR Project Instagram so you can see that. Stay tuned. Just keep it running. Don't worry about shutting it off. Like, who does that? Let YouTube or the website just play in the background. Just listen to the sound of my voice while you're working.
Also throw up some likes and some kudos or
likes, comments,
shares.
Yeah. Screenshot, zoom in on me.
Okay, well, I am going to step down, and we'll have ASICS join us. But yeah, really excited you're here. I'm going to give you both hugs as I leave.
Okay,
so,
here we go. Yeah. Thank you so much. You got to take the headphones off. Don't take them with you. I could see that was going to be happening real soon. While he's getting a hug, I think that this is great, and I'm so happy that we're able to do this. And another big shout out to the running event for making this happen and having us be here, because we're the best people for it. All right, so next up we have ASICS.
Mr. Paul Lang is coming up to join us.
So I'm gonna let you guys know. Like, I met Paul a couple years ago, and very, very good and funny guy. So we should have some fun with this. What's up, Paul?
What's up, guys?
So you can this is Gary, Paul. You can throw your headphones on, man. I like that hat.
Thank you.
We can talk about that too, I think.
Feel like,
Just go ahead and just talk right into the microphone there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Any
I
special
got a-
requests?
I got a question. All right. So, number one, man, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
All
Be
right.
up here.
Is this like the best thing that you've done all year, sitting up here for this few seconds you've been up here already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
what else you got? So yeah, tell me about like let's just jump into the shoes, because I think that people have always been excited about like what ASICS is doing on the shoe front. The last few years has like the risks and the changes that have happened in the shoe design and the look have been phenomenal in my opinion. So let's talk about like what you got today, but before you kind of bring those shoes out, what's like the energy in office that keeps seeming to move things forward at such a rapid pace? Because if you look at a shoe now as opposed to like 2 years ago, even, there's such a big difference in the look.
Yeah. So I think it's a multitude of things, right? So ASICS is kind of the original performance run brand, right? 1949, out of Japan, wore torn. What do? We find a way to inspire people through movement and through shoes, and that's where the brand started. When I was growing up as a runner, ASICS was like the brand. It kind of owned the marketplace, and then it kind of fell away. It just stayed really traditional as the rest of the market sped up. So about 7 years ago, the brand reset, opened a creation studio in Boston. You've been there. Hopefully we'll have you out there at some point.
Love to.
And so it was really kind of a refocus on who we were, what we wanted to be. We had the core four, right? It was the Nimbus, the Cano, the 2000, and the Cumulus. And really the Nova Blast was kind of what started to bring things around and change it up. We had a core consumer, and we didn't want to kind of rock that boat too much, but we wanted to get a little bit disruptive. I think running really moved from medically prescriptive to a little bit more of experience. It was always like you went to a running store and you were an overpronator until proven innocent in a lot of cases.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just like that's what it was. And I think so many more people came to the sport, and it got to a point where like, how can I enjoy the run a little bit different? And it wasn't just, oh, this is a stability shoe, this is a neutral shoe. It's like, I want a shoe that can feel different, that bounces, that rolls, that has a lot of cushion. It was almost like a toolbox for every different day, every different run. Like, how do we give you something different? And so that's where Nova Blast came from. It was the first shoe where we moved away from historical gel that we'd always used, played with geometries. It was kind of inspired by origami, where we could be a little bit more disruptive, and started using kind of this piston setup where, the shoe itself could kind of compress and then bounce forward. The first version really presented something that was radically different than what ASICS had done. I think we've got the balance of being this like really well-known glal brand, but it was very traditional. And so Nova Blast kind of reset that for us. And
the Nova Blast, the buzz when the first one came out was huge.
Yeah.
And then every iteration, everybody's like kind of clamoring to get the next one, the next one, the next one. So
yeah, I feel like it is kind of funny. Like, that Nova Blast, that first one. I remember, like you just pick like a day in history. Where were you on this day? I remember I was sitting on my kitchen floor. But when that first Nova Blast came out, like it kind of like gave like a peek into what ASICS could do. It's like, oh wow, okay, I can't imagine. Then you start like picturing like what a super shoe looks like eventually, and it starts rolling. And I think that like I haven't seen a shoe do that before for a brand, and Nova Blast was it.
Yeah, I think what was so surprising to us is, we sent pairs to all the athletes and figured it would kind of work into the rotation. And then all of a sudden, all these elite athletes, like, it's the shoe they're wearing every day for every effort. We're like, oh, wow, there might be something a little bit more to this. We were able to be a little bit more crazy with color. The design was a little bit more wild. It got a more youthful consumer. Not that was the only person that was reaching into it, but it kind of opened us up to a different consideration.
Right. Yeah, I think some of the like early Nova Blast 2 and 3, those are the ones where I was recommending to friends, like new runners or runners who didn't know what to do with their shoes. Like, everybody comes up and says, hey, what kind of shoe do you wear? And the first the answer is usually go to your local running store. But if they weren't able to do that, I would recommend a handful. And Nova Blast was always one of the ones I would recommend, especially for new runners.
Yeah.
So something comfortable for them. They weren't going to hurt their feet. I knew for sure they'd love them. They could, go fast, go slow, whatever they need to do.
Yeah, it's a fun shoe.
So now that we're at the 4, let's talk about like the 1 versus the 4. Like, for a lot of runners, they don't have every iteration or every version of a shoe because they may not be putting that many miles on each one or whatever it is, and maybe they have the first or the second one, which were somewhat similar. What's the bigger difference in the thing you're excited about most from a 1 to 4?
Man, that's a big question there.
Oh
So
man, my bad.
no, I think the first one, there really was kind of that bounce to it that nobody had expected, and I think you saw that slide away a little bit in some of the later versions.
Yeah.
I think 4's gone back to a lot more of that pronounced bounce out of the forefoot. It feels a little bit more explosive. One of the goals was to differentiate, right? So Nimbus is all about kind of supreme comfort, cushion. This is about a little bit more of a bounce, kind of explosive at any pace kind of experience for the run.
Nice.
And so I think, you're back to that from a base net perspective. It's a little bit broader. And so inherently under the foot, you're going to feel a little bit more protected and stable, even though it's a neutral cushion shoe. And then I think the upper on it, this engineered woven, is just it's super comfortable. It wraps the foot well. And I think the aesthetic of it's a lot of fun too. So
Yeah, speaking of aesthetic, like you mentioned that earlier, where like for a long time, like running was so like more prescriptive. Running shoes are more prescriptive, and it felt like you're going in to talk to a doctor when you try to get a shoe at a running store. But it almost like the look of it was maybe second thought, you know. But ASICS has leaned into. I mean, because you have the sports style side of ASICS is crazy.
Yeah.
Like so, it's like I feel like now you're starting to lean into like that design and that energy or that like that flair. That people just love to wear shoes that they really think look great too, and then it's also a great shoe. So I don't even think that's a question there, but that's I just appreciate that you've managed to play with colors well and put it on a shoe that makes sense.
yeah, I think it just mixes it up a little bit. It's fun, exciting when you get a shoe that you want to pull off the shelf and take out every day.
Yeah.
That's Nova Blast to me is a shoe that's like that. That I've got all my ASICS shoes at home. I got a whole row of the competitor shoes that we run and test in, and there's certain shoes that you just you're excited to pick a pair up and go for a run. And Nova 4 is back to that for me for the Nova series.
Very cool.
So what about this other shoe we got up here? That's the Nimbus.
Yeah,
26.
26.
Let me see that. Let me see that thing, man. All right. So yeah. Okay. So the 25. Was the 25 a bigger shoe?
25 was a really significant update. Nimbus had always had visual gel. That had been kind of a calling card of the Nimbus series. So with 25. We went internal with the gel, just in the heel, raised the stack, went lighter weight even with the raised stack. 25's done really well for us. And so this is kind of a refinement of 25 to 26. So a couple updates, new engineered mesh upper. So it's a little bit more breathable. It's just going to wrap the foot a little bit easier. And then the outsole is the new hybrid grip. So we're taking the ASICS grip rubber that we've used on our trail shoes in the past, working that in and just giving a little bit more traction underfoot. So I know a lot of times you'll get runners that fall in love with a shoe and then they're like, oh, why'd this get changed so crazily? We felt so good on the 25. It's like, okay, let's just refine this a little bit and really kind of elevate it to a more pinnacle positioning of the, the same kind of run experience. So
that's great.
All about pure cushion comfort, all day easy.
Well, was there like was there any feedback that you felt that was answered with this to refine it?
Yeah, I think both those pieces, with 25, it was a beautiful looking shoe, but I think we felt that the upper could have been a little bit more breathable, especially once you get in those warmer months. And then the same thing, I think outsole traction has been a conversation. Nova 3 had that. We've updated the outsole on Nova 4 to give us a little bit more grip. And then the same thing with Nimbus 26. Taking that ASICS grip rubber that we've been using on some of the high-end trail shoes, transferring that to a road shoe, not adding any weight, but giving us the ability to get a little bit more tacky, a little bit more grab on the ground has been big.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
like your turn here. No, what are you excited about though? I mean, as maybe not as a brand, but then also like as a guy that works for the brand and is like all over the place for him. Like what are you excited about in 2024?
Man, it's an Olympic year. So anytime you go into an Olympic year, it's a lot of excitement. So I think for us, February is going to be a huge inflection point for not just us, but every brand in running. So we'll go down to Orlando for the Olympic trials marathon. I think that's going to be super exciting. I would guess that most brands are planning to pop off with some kind of huge racing story there. It's going to be kind of
for sure
the origination of speed for 2024. We'll have a handful of athletes all kind of fighting to make the team. So Clayton Young is here somewhere. He ran incredible at Chicago Marathon. Got the A standard and opened up a spot for the Olympic team. On the women's side, we'll have Emma Bates and Sarah Hall, Lindsay Flanagan. You kind of go down the list, Betsy Sena. So we've got 4 women right there, all with the shot. So I think that's a really exciting way to start the year. And then you move into new product. You move into some really cool community collaborations that we're working on kind of across the country. We've got our tech reps that'll be out at run specialty stores kind of across the U.S. activating around different shoes. You brought up the hats,
Mm-hmm.
so that you start to see some plays with collaborations, with different groups and things kind of across. It's ever since I've got to the brand, it's been kind of a steady state of momentum and growth.
Yeah.
So continuing to be a part of that, I think some of the stuff we've done in the past, we were able to bring people out and be part of big events, marathons, things like Falmouth Road Race. Bringing people into Boston Marathon itself. We do a pop-up every year at the Boston Marathon on Newbury Street. That's a super exciting time. So yeah, it's hard to say. It's just there's so much going on. It's time to map it out. We're already thinking about 25, 26 in terms of product, but sometimes you step back and you're like, oh man, we got all this cool stuff in front of us now.
Yeah, and you guys had a really great year this year. I mean, talk about Lindsay Flanagan, being at Worlds.
Yeah,
and
great race for her,
crushing it. And then Nico as well.
Yeah, another one that you forget about. The athletes just left and right are running. You got Fred Curley on top of all that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
Huge one. And Emma had a great race in Boston, and so you guys are in for an exciting February for sure down in Orlando. I don't know if you can. I'm completely just guessing here, but is there another iteration of the Super Shoot gonna be ahead of that race, or is it a wink, wink, nudge, nudge? Or
I'll just say we'll see in February in Orlando. We can chat about it the next event.
Gary's gonna get us canceled. Like on the second guest we have, Gary's gonna get us canceled.
Sure.
But yeah, man.
We'll edit in post.
Say it now. It's not live.
Let me ask you guys. What are you most excited about in 2024?
I think I love the Olympics. All of it, and as I've been getting more and more into the running industry, I never even thought about like getting up and watching the Olympic trials and do all the majors now. But yeah, I'm excited to see, especially the American women right now in marathoning. I think that race is going to be fire. It's going to be incredible. I'm really looking forward to watching that in Orlando. And then I do think Americans can medal in these world majors or world events, and I'm excited to see that continue as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm not I don't look too far into the future. So like, I think next year, I'll just stop at like trials. I think the trials will be amazing. I hope to be down there in the area and be in Orlando when that all happens. I had the pleasure of being there last in 2020 in Atlanta, and it's just so electric. Like if you're watching this and like you can make it to Orlando in February just to watch a random race, it's just so fun.
Yeah.
Because the energy, like what's going down, like that it's the top 3 American men, top 3 men, top 3 women.
Yeah, it's real stakes. Real stakes.
Like it's like straight up, and it's not a all-out sprint. Like it's a tactical race. They're really running to place. So it's just a fun thing to see, and they always do a good job, or they did a good job last year with the course, making sure you could see the athletes more than one time. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully being part of that weekend.
All right, and because this is PR project, I'd be remiss not to ask you guys what's the next race on the PR calendar.
Boston for me.
Right.
The next big race is Boston. Yeah,
I'm doing a couple races in Japan.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm gonna do Osaka and Tokyo.
Oh man, that's it. You gonna stay over?
Yeah. I mean, they're like there's like 7 days apart, so it's like I don't want to have to get on that plane again. Another time. So might as well just stay there.
Yeah, that's a long flight. You want to stay there.
Yeah. You have to link up with our buddy Makino's son.
Yeah. Makino was the one that sent me what's the name of the brand that the collab is with for that hat?
El Dureso. So it's a Japanese-based kind of running collective and fashion designer. This guy Tarzan has been doing apparel out of this company called Aldi's for a couple years. Yeah. And he's got this really cool run label. They've got this crew called Loud Runners over, that's out of Tokyo, Harajuku. And Makino is kind of the leader of that. He works at Beams and is kind of creative director and pulls things together for Beams. So he linked up with El Dureso, was able to bring that in their stores and then kind of roll that stuff out.
That's awesome.
So, cool stuff.
For sure. So I'll definitely have to hook up with him. Because I got those, I think the S4s for that. So, but yeah, man, thanks Paul for being on the live stream. Second guest, you did well, man.
Thank you.
You did well. You can keep your job for a little bit longer.
Best stream of the event so far.
I'll
come back and let you know.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
If you find one that's better, don't let us know, please. No, leave the shoes. But yeah, we'll be over to try to steal a pair later.
You got it.
We'll tackle you.
You got it. We'll see you guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what goes down for ASICS next year.
Yeah, they're in for a big year.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, I thought last year was great. I think this year is going to be 2024 is going to be great for
Yeah,
them too.
anytime the Nova Blast comes out, people are excited. I'm excited to get my feet in a pair, for sure.
Yeah. So next, moving on to the next TRE PR Project live stream guest, we have Brooks Running.
Come on up,
here,
John.
man. So we got John from Brooks Running. How are you doing, man?
Great. How are you guys?
Good.
We're
Yeah,
good.
throw on some headphones
Yeah.
so you can hear how loud you are or are not.
Man,
Welcome to the live stream, man.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Yeah, I was just I ran in these a couple for my turkey trot in the Hyperion 4.
Yeah. What do
They
you
were
think?
so much fun.
Yeah.
I love it's one of the few super shoes where I put on and it feels good on feet right away. Sometimes when you put on a super shoe, you have to like struggle to get in, because for me anyway.
Gary has strange feet.
I have, yeah. No, it's partially true. Anyway, no, the comfort. I felt good on feet right away, and I think that's a winner for sure. So you can talk about it more, obviously, but
Yeah. For
my
sure.
first impression was it's a winner.
Can I see that? Can I see that shoe before
Yeah,
you?
for sure.
So I mean, to be honest though, like if you couldn't have planned it any better. So this was available for at least for Gary to wear at a turkey trot. I mean, the color scheme
Right.
was just like let's it was like perfect.
That's
turkey
Thanksgiving
trot.
all over it.
Yeah, it's perfect, ready to go for the fall winter vibe. But yeah, let's talk about this shoe a bit. Before we get into that, like I had the chance to run into both the first and the second one, and liked them, but kind of wanted like a little more pop in it. And from what I heard from Gary, I haven't had a chance to give these a go yet, but from what I heard from Gary, it's absolutely there. So if you could like lean into that too, tell people what they can expect.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is the 4th version, and as you mentioned it, sometimes it takes us a couple years to get things just really dialed in and right.
Mhm.
So the Hyperion 1 was, we did a fast track on that one to get it to Desi, and she won Boston in it, which was huge.
That works out.
Yeah.
So we blacked it out. It was so cool on the course, right? Her running, people were like, what is that shoe? Anyway, so we, then the next 2, we were kind of still figuring out how to get these things right. And then this one, we were just all in on it. We just need to come out, and we knew that the shoes we had were good, but we wanted to really be able to put a shoe out there that was on par with all the leading product out there. And, we really listened to our athletes, really worked with them. And we had 2 themes that were really driving this product. One was athletes wanted something that, propelled them and made them feel like, faster and pushed them forward. But then they also wanted to feel natural, which is kind of what you're talking about. So you put these super shoes on and they're like, there's a lot there. The shoe's doing a lot, but then it feels kind of maybe awkward. And so we wanted to make it. So the theme we had was this idea of supernatural.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, how do we make this shoe supernatural? How do we put the technology together that just gives the athletes an advantage on race day? And then, like you mentioned, the color scheme is, you put that on, it looks fast.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta if you're wearing a super shoe, it gotta be cute. You know what I'm saying? It has to, at the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved when I first saw this one. I'm like, okay, this is different, and I like it. I mean, because I feel like it takes some time. If you could talk about that, because I think that's the part I think is interesting about each brand's process in the super shoe game is you are trying to deliver on like this legacy of a brand that you've had, take huge steps forward, but then not just change the whole feel. Like, because you don't want to have someone that's been wearing Brooks for 20 years go to spend more money on a shoe.
Yeah.
A super shoe, and then it feels like something, almost opposite from Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, we used to always say, evolution, not revolution. And in some product, it's like, hey, let's if someone, we have a loyal following, let's not change it too much. But then, what we're learning is there's so much great product out there in the market from so many different brands out there. And so what we're learning is you don't want to alienate your runner, but then but their appetite for change and for newness and to have an advantage or have better product is pretty big. And so what we're looking to do is we want to accelerate more and move faster with our innovations and technology, bring things to market faster. Always bring in that that signature Brooks fit that works so well.
Yeah.
But then underlay that with with some cutting edge technologies.
Yeah. Let's talk about this other shoe that you have
Yeah.
up here. I haven't put this on my foot yet, and I'm kind of upset about it. Let's talk about this.
Yeah. So this is the Glycerin 21. So this is one of our flagship shoes. This is, an amazing everyday trainer. It's our most plush, most cushioned trainer that we have in our line. And yeah, so it starts off with our DNA Loft V3 cushioning, which is a nitro-infused foam, which is just really nice and soft and plush, but also has some nice rebound to it, so it gives you a little bit of give back at that at toe off. And then we make it in a couple different versions. This is the Stealth Fit version, which is a one-piece flat knit upper, and so it has this really nice close to foot sock-like fit. A little bit thinner foam packages. So for that person who really likes that more streamlined, more locked in fit, we're really looking to the materials to do that. And then we also comes in our what we call our classic fit, which is a more traditional fit with a separate tongue, more foam.
Okay.
And so it's gonna be more plush. And so you're gonna be able to have really allows the runner to be able to pick the fit that they want without having to compromise on the ride underneath.
Well, what about what if I go on the website and I'm confused? How would I decipher? In your terms, like how would I decipher which one I should spend the money on?
Yeah, totally. So that's a great question, and it's really gonna be personal preference, right? So I apologize for not bringing the other one, but just from an
you should be very, very sorry, man.
Will you invite me back next year?
No, never. This is it. This is your last chance.
No. So a lot of it, to be honest with you, when we look at runners and talk to them, their first read on the shoe is always going to be this aesthetic visual read.
Yeah.
And if they don't like the way the shoe looks, they just kind of move on from it anyway, right? So if they're on our website, what we found is some runners are, gravitate to this type of silhouette. It's a little bit sleeker, a little bit closer to foot. But really the benefit behind that is the fit that delivers. And so what we found is that the runner, as they look at a shoe, however that looks, translates back into the fit and the benefit that they want. And so on the website, the runner is really going to be able to navigate their way just on their personal preferences and be in the most optimal shoe for them.
So I know the Hyperion 4 is available February 1st. Is this available now, or is this still upcoming?
This is February 1st as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So get your pre-orders in now. Go get your pre-orders. You can do it. So like I do appreciate the fact that you talked about the aesthetic, because I think so long, brands, especially brands like a Brooks that have just been around for long enough to have been in that vibe where it didn't really matter necessarily. Like it wasn't about like the aesthetic and the look. But as you see, like the clothing side of things kind of advance and the style of them change, then it seems like the running or the shoe brands have slowly been like, okay, let's have some fun with these colors. And as you can see, like with the Hyperion and the Glycerin, you're starting to kind of like lean into that. You want to have someone be able to run in it and then go to the store and not feel like they gotta kick the shoe off really quick, No,
100%. And for us at the end of the day, we used to brag about we used to win ugly, right? Like it was the best fit, we had the best fit, feel, and ride, but the shoes are ugly, but we still win, right? But no, there's so much great product out there, and we want runners to be excited to run. I just bought a guitar for my daughter.
Yeah.
And I asked some people what I should get her, and they're like, buy her something that looks cool. That way she'll want to pick it up and play it.
Yeah.
And then have her play it and stuff. And like the secondary, right? And I'm like, I want people to like look at their shoe and have it be the right shoe for them, fit, feel, and ride. Yeah. But then I want them to look at it and be like, I want to put that on. I'm gonna go out for a run. And so we want to motivate people to get out.
Yeah, I mean that's the best way. Like if you're like in a training block or running or whatever, and it's just like you're trying to be more consistent and you're feeling like you're in a lull or whatever, if you got some good shoes, if you look over and you got some good looking shoes over in the corner, like waiting for you to be, driven or whatever, that helps you with hey, I want to get out and go on this run because I like those shoes a lot, Yep. So like kudos to you guys, because I think the first real running shoe, I think I went to a running store. I won't say their names. I went to a running store. I'm like, they did the like whole test thing, and then they handed me a pair of shoes that I like immediately. I knew that I needed them because they were good shoes. They were good for me. And I'm like, but I just can't be seen in these. My friends will make fun of me, And so like, I think I bought them, but every time I'd run, I would like toss them in the trunk really quick and then put on like some slides or something like that, because I just didn't want to be seen. So with the Glycerins, I don't have to do that. Like, and exactly. I mean, and that's a real thing.
Totally.
I mean, I'm kind of petty. So
no, and you're spot on. We do a ton of consumer insights, and that was an insight we gathered a number of years ago, whereas people go to run specialty and they get in the right shoe, but then they feel like they're going to the doctor and they're taking a pill where it's like, this is what you need.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they just walk out the store and they're like, there's nothing I like about this shoe other than it feels good. Right. Yeah. And so that was the idea behind the Glycerin, again, with the Stealth Fit and the Classic Fit. If you love that more amplified cushion plush ride, you can pick what aesthetic and upper you want. Right. So you don't have to compromise. And it's just, we believe that's the right way to lead with the runner.
Right.
No, I truly appreciate that. Aside from these two shoes coming out, what else are you looking forward to in 2024?
2024. Yeah, we have a big year coming. We have a revamp of the Ghost 15, which isn't going to, or 16, Ghost 16, which doesn't come out until May.
Okay.
But it's going to get the same midsole compound as the glycerin. So we're taking our #1 shoe, our most successful shoe, and just really giving the runner more of that cushioning, more of that comfort that they want. And so that's going to be a big change for us. Trail, we have a big trail initiative, and so
awesome.
we've been really investigating globally, over in Europe, and really taking a lot of cues from them. I mean, Europe trail is huge in Europe,
Yeah.
and then bringing those findings back, sponsoring athletes, being more present at races, and then using all that the athlete feedback to really inform our product. And so, we have a all new Caldera coming out, which is our ultra distance shoe coming out.
Yeah,
in January.
I've had a chance to run in the Caldera. I think whatever the last version was.
Yeah.
And I liked it a lot. I mean, I'm not like a big trail, buff. But I like the fact that I like the fact that I could throw on a shoe that is kind of made for that comfort of the road a bit, but then has like some of the things necessary to get after it on the trail.
Yep.
And that's like a really good segue for a lot of people, because I think if you go to the very traditional trail shoe, it's such a drastic change from a road shoe. So it can be intimidating, it can be tough, and I think the Caldera did a really great job at bridging that gap.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, and then we thought it was a good start was the Caldera 6. It took us a while to get that to a really good spot, and the Caldera 7 is a real nice move forward with that one. And then we have a new shoe called the Catamount Agile coming out, which is for trail runners who run shorter races, giving them something that they can go in and feel really confident in. It's more premium price, but it's all about performance and supporting our athletes as well.
That's great. I know that. So when Des did her 50K, was she in one of those as well? What did she run in those?
That's a really good. I was actually thinking about that this morning. I believe she ran in the Hyperion Elite.
Yeah, because I think in the 50K it was like a paved trail.
Paved trail, yeah.
And I think it was the same trail that homie just ran the 50 miler in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the 50 mile like world record. I think it
was world record. Yeah,
for sure. I think it's the same trail because I think she trains with him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what? And speaking of Des, I mean, on the professional side, so we had the trials coming up.
Yep.
What can people expect if they pop up in Orlando? What can they expect from Brooks that weekend?
Yeah, from Brooks. So I believe we're gonna have the Hyperion House going there. So we're gonna have a place where people can come. We can have community. We can do some runs. People can mingle with the athletes and just have a good time. Have some drinks.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a big presence there. We're gonna be excited. We're gonna have our athletes all on the Hyperion Elite 4. So I mean, CJ Albertson was sub 210 at Chicago. Zach Panning wore the shoe in Budapest.
Shout out to Zach Panning, a Michigan guy.
Michigan represent.
Yeah.
He was the #1 U.S. athlete at the World Champs in Budapest.
Crushed it.
So Zach, 2:11:21, I think it was. So
on a tough day.
Tough day.
Tough day.
So our athletes are stepping up. The Hansons are amazing. Our Mavericks are amazing. Desi's amazing. So really exciting there. Josh Kerr off his world championship in the 1500. He wore the Hyperion Elite 4 for the Fifth Avenue Mile.
Yeah.
Ran.
That was a fun race to watch.
Yeah, 3:47.8 or something.
I mean, that's not that fast, is it?
I think it's probably downhill. It's the carbon fiber.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably do that too if I had the Hyperion Max 4. But yeah, man, thank you so much for the time. Really looking forward to what Brooks has going on, and we'll have it going on next year.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks again for having me. This was a blast. I want to do this again every year.
Well, I mean, you didn't bring the 2 shoes, so I don't know, man.
You know what? You'll be great. We'll see you next year.
All right, yeah, fine. Because Gary said it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Talk to you later, man.
All right, take care,
Thanks
guys.
so much.
Thank you.
Have a good show.
Yep. So cool. So we that was good. I like the way Brooks is going.
Yeah. No, the colorways are sweet. Like I said, I really enjoyed the Hyperion Elite.
I'm still kind of. I mean, I don't know if it was like maybe someone stealing my mail or whatever. But Brooks, I don't know if I got that shoe, man.
I think you did.
What do you mean? You think I did?
I've seen your basement. It's a shoe Nirvana back down there. It's probably just lost.
Oh, I like that you said shoe Nirvana. I thought you were gonna say something way worse about
no,
my
not yet.
basement.
It's still early.
Okay.
Still
yeah,
early
if you want to know, my basement is it's I guess like if you took all the shoes from TRE and then threw them into a room, with no order or anything. I feel like that's what my basement looks like. Just to be honest.
Yeah.
I know that I'm a mess. It's okay. If you have awareness about things,
It's
okay.
organized chaos. I would call it that.
That's what I would say.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know where anything is, so I don't know where the organization part comes in. But you know,
All right.
appreciate that, Gary.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right, so next up we have Running Experts Europe. So they literally weren't gonna come here until I paid for them to fly out, the whole group of them and everything. Let me move out of the way here and jump over to the next side.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, good to see you again.
Get in the middle there.
Yeah, sit in the middle here, and then get some headsets on, and
Yeah, get as close as possible to those
talk
mics.
right
We
into the
wanna-
microphone.
We want to hear you.
Hello, everyone.
There we go.
Hi, how you
Wow, I
doing?
like this mic. I'm staying over here. I like this mic, Gary.
All right.
And I can't smell you from over here, so that's good.
That's rude.
Yeah.
Rude.
All right, you kick this off, Gary, because you're way over there.
So, Running Experts Europe from Germany. That's a new name. You guys just rebranded not too long ago, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, we are not only from Germany. We call ourselves the Running Experts Europe Group, so the United
Europe Group.
States of Europe, if you want. So we have 8 countries here, 20 retailers. So some of the retailers
Give me the mouse.
even spectate us today. Hi, guys.
Yes, you have a big old contingent here. They all look great in their sweaters.
So I think you know what I'm starting to feel like. I was like
Sweatshirts.
at first,
Sweatshirts. I get that wrong all the time.
at first when I saw all them over there, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They got a lot of people over here. I think it's an intimidation thing.
Yeah.
I think that they were all wear black so they could like they're all hanging out over there so that we don't mess up. And I'm feeling more nervous than I was for everybody else so far. So thank you, you guys. You guys did it. You nailed it. You guys are super intimidating.
Yeah,
so we'll do
look
it
at
right.
you, Tommy. They look at you. That's right.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. So talk to us. Give us some background on the company. And let's start there because like one of the cool things we were able to talk to everyone beforehand. And like as the call went, I got like my mind was just starting to get every time you'd say something different that I hadn't heard of before. I'm like, this is crazy. You know? You're laughing because I like literally flipped out.
I never saw somebody that excited just in a call.
Yeah,
Well,
we were scribbling notes. Like this is, I mean, new nugget after new nugget every time. It was awesome.
I think maybe it's an American thing. Maybe we're easily amused. I'm not sure.
But
yeah.
maybe just to clarify a little bit, we created maybe a monster. So we are a retail network of over 200 independently owned run specialty doors.
Yeah.
And we host a show like the running event here down there by Frankfurt in Germany.
We're available whenever that is.
We cover, come over. It's a good show. But we are not as much as in party like the US guys here in Austin. Stay wired. So yeah, we bring together independents and try to give them marketing, alignment and assortment. Host a show, publish a magazine. We do financials for them. We do consulting for them. So it's really, really nice. And Julian, my merchandise manager, is the one for product, and that is maybe the differentiator. So we create with the brands together exclusive products to our group because we want to be special.
Okay.
Can you understand that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, trust me. Look, I mean, this whole thing, I just want to feel special. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But when did the company start? And like, what was the reason for the way that you went about business?
Yeah. So we belong to a bigger group of retailers that cover over 3,000 doors in Europe. But 9 years ago, we founded the Run Specialty Group, mainly in Germany. And then we brought together 95% of the market. Nobody has shares in our company, nor do we have shares, but we bring them together in product group, retail network group. So we really try to align the group and keep them as much independent as they are. And then suddenly we recognize that Germany is not an island. Maybe the US boys need some history here. Yeah. So we are not an island. So we live in Europe. There's a big of competition from the countries. And so we said, okay, we have to do Running Experts Europe. And that's maybe a year or 1.5 years ago. And then we met with the guys from France and Belgium and Denmark. And we saw we have the same challenges and the same opportunities. And then, we brought it to life.
Awesome. I mean, but what I guess obviously the markets are different here in the US and over there. What's the reason why? Because I don't think that this could happen here. What's the reason I mean, it could, but I mean, like, what's the reason why it fits so well there?
Yeah, you have to know one thing. We don't have MSRPs, the minimum suggested retail prices, down there in Europe. So literally at every launch day of a nice product, everybody can display that on discounted prices. And therefore, we thought it's a good idea to have exclusive products that are protected in a way that gives us the margin. Because our claim is keep the runners healthy, care about community, give the best advice. So we go the extra mile instead of just displaying it on different price points. And that's why we thought it's a good idea to bring the quantity behind good products and co-create products and co-create marketing. So we do a lot of content also around these products, because to repeat the videos and the content of the brands is maybe also not a good idea, because they do D2C online too. So that's the main reason.
Yeah, can we talk about the collaborations? The creations you've been doing.
This is where my mind was blown.
Yeah, because specifically I received a pair of the On Cloud cores, which are, if I'm correct, exclusively to the European market.
Wait, hold on. I can confirm that. So I said something to a On rep here, not in the building, but in the States, and I said, "Hey, have you heard of the Cloud core?" He's like, "No." And then so I showed him. He was like, "Whoa!" And I told him what the background was, and he's like, "That is insane," because it blew his mind too. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part, right? When we had the phone call, a lot of American retailers or the ones outside of Europe don't know about those co-creations, right? So what we do is we look at the different needs in the market. So let's say there's a higher trail focus, for example, around the Alpine region or something like this. And then we go to the brands and we say, hey, we need something that is specifically fitted to the needs of the runners that we have in those specific areas and for our retailers. So we sit together with the brands, for example, with On in Zurich in their lab, and then we take like one of their products, like an inline product, let's say an On Cloud runner.
Yep.
And then we say, what do we have to make in the shoe or around the shoe that makes it more fitted for our consumers? So we took the runner, we built the Cloud core out of it. We did that with different brands. So we're doing something with Adidas right now as well, and with all the other brands. So we have a whole lineup, a whole portfolio of shoes that is specifically just exclusive for Run Specialty within Europe. Obviously, the people in the US could buy it as well,
sure,
but they haven't heard about it, and they don't have that issue with because they have their MSRP. But it's fun, right? As being the merchandise or product manager in that way.
Yeah.
I can go to the brands, I talk to the retailers, we take them in, obviously, always in those collaborations as well. And then we look at some of the data, and then we just try to find the best products fitted for our consumers.
Now, when I said that they're exclusive to the European market, is that true, or is that exclusive to Running Expert, stores versus any other shoe store in Europe could also have this, or is it just exclusive to what you guys have?
It always depends, right? So we figured out that in a perfect world, it would be exclusive to our Running Expert group.
Yeah.
Right. But mostly what we're asking for is a Run Specialty only shoe. So only for a door that can provide the services that a Run Specialty door makes it special, right? So they give the right advice, they have a community, they're with the consumer on the floor. And that's where we want to see the shoes, and that's where the brand wants to see the shoes. But most of the time, it depends on the definition of Run Specialty.
Sure.
So for some brands, let's say in different countries, specialist looks a little bit different than it does to another brand. So technically, it's up to the brand to decide. And the US market is obviously open to buy those as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of sales rep don't need to present the product because there's not that big of a need right now. We have heard and we have talked to some of the retailers here, and there is some similarities, and maybe in the sense of this weekend or this week, we will find solutions to maybe implement the product also in the US.
So that's part of the goal of being here at TRE is
Exactly.
And you have the chance to talk to Casper, the founder of CO, later on. He has a slot with you and ask him about the core. And I think he likes the idea that some of the other countries, like the US, buy into that. And we will talk to Run Collective. I think that's the right name. That's a US group, Gazelle Sport, and other retailers.
Yeah, Exchange Collective.
That's something, because they also want to talk about that opportunity to have these exclusivity.
Because it's like, I mean, I don't work for a Run Real Shop, but I know enough of the folks to know that there is an issue with the direct to consumer lane. It's I buy shoes directly from a brand all the time. If it's if like the delivery of it's just, because I guess at this day and age, we're so used to just being able to go on and click, 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 and then have it delivered to our door. So like it's having something special that's built by and for the run retail shops that are meant for their consumer is just a really great way to have the brands help keep the people in the shops, because I mean the brands want that too.
Right. I have a question for you guys, because you guys, if I'm correct, have received the Cloud Core, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you run in it?
I did. I put 10 miles in last
Yeah?
week. Yeah.
And how did you think?
I really liked it. For that specific shoe, I felt like I still had that that cloud cushion, but still low to the ground type of feel. Yeah, I felt great. They were comfortable on feet, and but I noticed that I still felt close to the road, but still felt comfortable the whole way. Yeah,
Those were the correct words. That's what I wanted to hear, right?
Like you passed the test. Yeah, so as soon as the honestly, Gary just thinks that that they look good on him. That's all.
they actually, but that's actually true.
But that's also
look sweet.
important.
Yeah, but the colorway was awesome.
They
Yeah,
look
but
sweet though.
that's one thing as well, right? Because we have to look, the European market is much more technical than the US market, I would say. A lot of people here like the cushion and the maximum stack height that they can get, and in Europe it's a little bit more technical. So what we also have to think about is how can we implement a good design language? How can we implement the newest technology with those shoes as well? Because max cushion is the main topic right now. So this is always also a task to combine what is in demand and in the trend and what is in demand within the market, right?
Yeah,
so I'm glad you
to
said that, because for US people it might seem a little bit different than like a Monster or Eclipse that just launched.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool though, because I mean that's what kind of blew my mind, was just like the thought that, I mean, I know that a retail establishment would connect with a brand in that way to create something very specific for a market.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool because like you could really have, technically you could have 5, 6, 7 different pairs of shoes kind of circulating for specific markets. Like it's like like you said, Americans, it'd be a little more cushioned, and it'd be a little different, and maybe the color scheme would be different. But it makes that market like, oh, this is for us.
Yeah, and that's what we call a romantic story.
Because I feel a woman's side for sure.
We feel special, so we need something special. And of course, there are similarities to the markets, but it's also like, what should we display on marketing? We want to display special products that we co-created, and see all our retail colleagues that are here and made the way from Europe to US to have a really broad view on the market. So when we co-create, everyone is behind it. And it's not a matter of alignment to do something mandatory. It's really like, hey, I co-created a product in a product group or retail panel, and let's go for that. So the launch of the Cloud Core, as an example, was the best we ever had. So that's cool.
I mean, selling on product since July. And also,
oh wow,
I think it's important also to mention a big thank you to all the suppliers, retailers, and the industry to support that strategy, right?
Yeah,
it's not guaranteed to do that.
Right.
So we really want to thank them as well.
And so to wrap us up for our segment with you guys, how can folks, I think folks overseas know how to find you, but like, what can the folks here in the US, how they find you, and what can they look forward to in the next 12 months?
So first of all, they can find us under runningexpert.eu.
Okay.
So there's a contact, or you have my contact, so you can give it to them. So call Tommy for any contact.
Yeah, call me directly.
Or ask the brands. I think we have a kind of a momentum in Europe, so they all know us. And in the next 12 months, we try to really gather together everyone in the countries. So that's what we do here, also traveling together, get to know each other better. So I'm not good in French. Let's say 0 words, but we have French people here, so we try to have to align in language and yeah.
Well, no, I got
Julia is the French guy.
No, but also,
that sounded really good though.
I don't know
what you just called me, but hey, sure.
No, all good. I just said I speak a little bit of French, but that's about it. No,
I got Duolingo.
Just in a sense of product for the next 12 months, I think you guys could be very excited. We have something planned with a big global brand. I think they just launched a new silhouette, the Supernova silhouette. And we have a specific model just for our group, actually.
Okay.
So when you said earlier,
yeah.
Right, and also in our specific, also a little bit of a color language. So you look out for that. You will see it, I think, starting in March. We let you guys know. We hook you up with one of them products.
Yeah, we have your addresses.
We talk next year again.
Yeah,
no,
you have my address, man. Yeah, you got my address. Send me whatever you want, man.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it. We'll be excited to talk about it next year for sure.
If you could send me the cool stuff, and then like send Gary the stuff that's just like kind of
we know
just
that.
gotta have some. Yeah.
We only have cool
Understood.
stuff. I'm sorry.
That's a good answer. That's a good
That's
answer.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well played there, bro. Well, thank you so much, guys. Hopefully, have a great conference, and we hope to see you soon. And I'll be waiting on all the boxes of shoes and deliveries and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys, and also to Christina Henderson that you had early in the show to inviting us to the running event.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So thank you.
All right, cool.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, no, that's really cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm
I just
excited.
imagining like good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Imagining because we have a lot of small independent retailers here. I can imagine them all getting under one
You seem so far.
one giant umbrella. I'm not going to reach out my hand for you. That's
just like the
No.
painting. Come on,
no.
do
Like the
do
ET
the
thing.
thing.
I'm not doing it.
do the thing.
I know because
Yeah.
I know the pull my finger trick. I'm not doing that.
Okay, yeah. All right, so next up, because I think we could probably do that little random thing we were just about to do for too long. Next up, we have Pacers running. So we're gonna have Kathy Dalby, CEO, and Chris Farley, owner.
Here comes Chris and Kathy. Hello.
So
Oh, thank you.
before he can speak for himself, Chris Farley. I'll just leave it there.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you
put
so
those on
much.
so you can kind of hear yourself.
What's
Ooh.
happening?
Oh, I like the hat.
All right, these are great.
We're gonna
Thank you
set
so
that
much.
there, set that
Kathy
right
is so
there.
thoughtful. You know, she came here with gifts.
Yeah, because I
know?
wouldn't have been like I'd got here and thought like, oh, we should have brought some. I'd be in the middle of it. We should have brought something. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Yes.
Officially like you more than I like Chris.
Yeah.
now.
Most do.
Yeah,
Most-
you like
most
yourself
do.
better than I
That
get that.
is generally how it is when we go to these trade shows. So don't blame you.
Okay, all right. So, welcome to the live stream.
Great to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks.
how are you feeling?
Thank you.
When did you guys get in?
So I got in on Monday. So I've had a couple days to acclimate, and it's been awesome. The energy is, to be expected, just through the roof, and it's been a good couple days. Kathy got in
Yesterday, yeah.
yesterday.
Got my big night in last night with
Yeah.
all my old friends. So here we are.
Yeah.
Gonna do
And
some
you're
business.
both in the Washington DC metro area or in DC
The
proper.
nation's capital, brother.
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
nation's capital. Yep.
Oh, that's I knew I got that wrong
Yes,
on the
yeah.
test.
Yes.
I knew it. Like I'm like,
Yep.
how did I get an F on this? It was that one answer.
Yep. The nation's capital, man. We've been there. Pacers Running has been there since 1991. So my family and I bought the store in 2003. Bought an existing store. Kathy's been there for the entire time, and she came on as a partner a couple years ago. So we are the owners of Pacers Running. We have 5 retail locations, and 3 in Washington D.C., 2 on the Virginia side, and we are a community running store, and there's a lot of great community running stores. We think we do a pretty darn good job of building runners, creating runners, and we're just really thrilled and excited to be in this space that is just, as you guys know, pretty awesome.
So prior to getting into the shoe business, were both of you runners? Did you guys run in high school, college, or just recreation runners?
So
or?
I ran in high school and college. I ran at the University of Virginia, Wahoo Wah. For any UVA Cavalier fans out there, I wasn't very good, but I was really into it.
Yeah.
So I
that's
still
kinda
like
all
run.
That was
That's all
my
that
college
matters.
career as well. I
But
wasn't any good, but I really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
so I really enjoyed it, and so I ran there for 4 years, and then kind of bounced around a couple jobs, and then kind of found when I started working at the running store in Alexandria, I said, this is it. This is what I got to do. So convinced my parents to mortgage their house in 2003. We bought the
Wow.
first store, and so that's kind of the Pacer story. And Kathy was
Wait,
working
hold on, man.
at the
Hold on,
store
bro.
before.
Listen, I have a 13-year-old and a 16-year-old. If the day that my daughter comes to me, the 16-year-old, and says, "Hey, we need you to to leverage the house to do this thing,"
It was the dumbest thing my parents ever did.
Yeah.
Dumbest thing.
I mean,
Nobody recommended them doing it.
Oh, I
I mean,
bet,
it was dumb, but it worked out.
It did. It
and
did.
I'm just saying that they're better than me because I'm gonna say you're gonna have to find a different way.
I
honey.
got 3 kids, and my middle son he's 5, So he calls me the king of Pacers. He said, Dad, one day I want to be the king of Pacers.
That's
I said,
awesome.
no. You're not granted the king of Pacers. You got to go through
Oh, you
Kathy.
gotta earn it.
Kathy
Yeah.
is going to make you earn it.
All right.
So yeah, it was a leap of faith, and you know, it was an amazing. I am so grateful to my parents. My dad passed away 8 years ago. They sold me the full store before he passed, and you know, he never took a dollar from the store. We were just growth. And I think that's kind of he was all in it for the entrepreneurial ride.
That's awesome.
And so, you know, we were lucky to have, you know, great staff, great location, but, you know, luck that this industry was growing in 2003 and still continues to grow. And so we hit on a good market, and we've done some pretty cool, innovative things along the way. And, you know, we're really proud of who we are and what we've done.
What about you, Kathy? What's
my story?
What's your
What's your
story? what dumb decision did your
Well,
parents make that worked
Yeah,
out?
exactly.
They did.
They're a little bit more, yeah. I started working in a little shop in Redondo Beach. I'm from Los Angeles. I went to school at Michigan State
Go
with
Green?
your wife,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
is crazy that we have this
I
connection.
know, it's so weird.
So funny. I was a dropout on the Michigan State track and field
Mhm.
team.
Okay.
I actually high jumped for them, which is random. I'm a terrible high jumper. So, but I got issued a uniform, but I kept running. And
Counts.
then
It counts.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I was working in the shop on like holidays or whatnot, and, you know, coming back and forth from home. And then I walked into Pacers one day because I had a friend who needed some shoes. And I was like, I got this. I'm going to fit them. And I walked in and I was like, she's going to need the Mizuno Inspire. Just get me them. And the guy that was working was at the time, the son, what was it?
The previous owner's
The previous owner's son. And he
son,
said, you know,
Chris. His name was Chris as well. Yep.
that's right. That's right.
Yep.
And he said, do you want to work here on Saturday? We have a shift. And I was like, sure. So that is literally how I started.
That's
at Pacers.
awesome.
Yeah. I just walked
Our
in.
process is a little different
It's a
now
little
in
different
hiring
now.
people.
Yeah, you know, there's like an
Yeah.
interview, but my
That
interview was on the
background
job.
check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean,
just-
I think
yeah.
background checks are kind of pointless if you think about
Correct.
it.
Look, if you come in the store and you know the specific brand and year the shoe came out, you're probably
Look,
legit.
if someone comes in and they can distinguish the difference between upper, midsole, and outsole,
Yep.
you are hired, bro.
Hired.
Yeah.
Hired.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
you work Saturday?
Yeah.
Can you work Saturday?
And
Second-
that's the
yeah,
other question. yeah.
Second question is, can you work Saturday?
Can you work Saturday and then open on Sunday?
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Yeah. And I mean, and then Kathy, you know, when I bought the store, she was, you know, an employee, and somehow convinced her to come on, actually just continue to work the store, but also then finally quit her real job. And then she started our events company that she was the owner of. And so we put on road races and did a bunch of events in the 2000s. We still have that.
You're
that
very
events business.
convincing. I mean, you convinced your parents.
I know.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
My fledgling legal career at the time.
Yeah.
That was
the
terrible.
The day I get a text from Chris, it's just gonna I'm just gonna turn my phone off.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yes, because you don't want
Nope,
to be convinced
not
of whatever
doing it.
soap I'm selling.
What? Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't want
I
it.
already got soap, bro. You know. So what's next for you guys? I mean, because as a retail shop, it's like to me, I mean, I feel like it can just be day in, day out, same thing over and over, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like just it's different customers
Absolutely.
and all that stuff. But how do you keep it spicy and fresh?
Yeah.
And what's up for 2024
Well,
for
you
you guys?
you got to keep it spicy and fresh. Absolutely, that's a good way to put it.
It's like good guacamole.
Yeah, exactly. But
that was
you
good.
know, the next thing is always been the thing that we do well is our community engagement, our customer service, our you know us being in DC with the DC runners. And I believe that brick and mortar is going to be really strong in 2024. I believe you're going to see a return to brick and mortar. And we do a lot of things, and we could talk about a lot of things that we do, from events, and we sell digitally, and we've got a refurbished business that we're selling shoes with. But I'm telling you, this next year, we're going to be focused on retail, people coming back to retail, and we're going to see growth in retail.
Yeah.
And I think that the connection, so what's next is people are connecting with each other again. And retail's
agree
gonna
with
be
that. I think people do like to feel and touch the shoes and try them on. It's hard to do that online, especially with the return
can't,
process.
man. You can't.
So no, I agree. I think I mean, we have a couple local run shops in our area as well, and they're all little community centers, which is great, you know. And I know you guys have an excellent community out in Washington D.C. I have a couple of friends I see on Instagram who are always at Pacers or doing Pacers events.
Let's go. Yes.
So that's encouraging to see. But what are you hoping to accomplish here this week here at TRE?
Yeah. Kathy, what do you want to accomplish?
Well, I mean, we're here to see what's the latest product. I mean, people come to run specialty for discovery, and so we want to make sure that we give them something exciting to come into the shop and see. So we're going to see some new brands. We get to see some old friends. This industry is so incredibly communal. It's what we do. So you know, that's really what we're here for.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
I think that we have to, you know, I like it spicy. I'm going to take that home to DC.
And fresh.
We've got to take.
Because if
We've
your
got
guacamole is
to.
just spicy.
We got to. I mean, I was looking at, you know, a picture. This is our 20th anniversary of owning the store. So I was looking back at some pictures in the shoe wall. What I thought was spicy and fresh, even 5 years ago, just wouldn't fly. It just wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
It just you look at the product now. So we've got to keep pushing that envelope. Keep evolving, keep it fresh. So
I
that's
feel
what we're here
like the
for.
running shoe industry is in like an innovation cycle right
Yeah.
now, where it's just
Totally, dude.
hasn't even peaked yet.
100%.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, there is so many new, you know, technologies and foams and plates and all these things that are just amazing. And the consumer experience for runners is just amazing. And there's so many brands who are doing amazing things that, you know, it's a great time to be in run.
And so just a couple things too. Like I think an idea, I mean, because we already established that spicy and fresh is the new tagline for Pacers, right?
100%.
So yes, I need credit for that. There we go. And
Got
then
it.
two, I feel like a good spicy and fresh way to do the shop now would just be have no shoes on the walls.
Okay.
And they just
All
walk into
avocados. All avocados.
Legit minimalism. I hear it.
literally no shoes, just like
Okay.
black walls, and then you have to they have to kind of find their way into what shoe you're gonna bring out to. It could get crazy.
I'm not hating this idea.
It
I'm not
sounds a
hating
little bit
this
like
idea.
Harry Potter when they're trying to get their wand. That's what it. That's
Yeah,
kind of
The
like.
kids are watching
Yeah.
Harry
exactly.
Potter. I'm
The
dialed in
shoe-
right with you, buddy.
The shoe
Yeah.
picks you.
Yeah.
I mean, the shoe does pick you, you know. So like that's the way you got to go.
Yeah.
But thirdly, though, and this is a real thing.
Yeah.
That's not us. Don't make that noise.
Yeah.
So third thing is Kathy. So the company is probably partially woman owned, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct, and I love that.
Yep.
So can you just talk about what that means to you and to the company, and what you hope to see in that lane in the next year in time to come?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of our secret strengths, and even Chris will say this, is that we're not just female part owned. I'm
Yep.
obviously
Yep.
female and identify as such, but we're also female led. And so I think with that, what's really great is that we look at our perspectives are different, and the way that we look at product and how we want to see it presented. You know, not hating this idea, Tommy. You know, in terms of merchandising.
Yeah.
So I think for us, like I'm part of a group where it's called Empower Run, where we really got women together 5 years ago and just felt like we needed to have a bigger voice in this, even in our stores, but in this industry. You know, this really is kind of this generalized mom and pop kind of business where there's usually a male and a female owner. And we just felt like the women needed a little bit more visibility and a little bit more networking.
And
Okay.
this industry traditionally has been a bunch of dudes who ran in college, and that's who led the industry. And I think you looked at who our customer was, and it wasn't a bunch of dudes who ran in college. So we
Mhm.
just needed a different perspective, a different point of view. And I think that's a real competitive advantage for Pacers.
I think that's so smart though, because I mean, I think that's not just retail. I mean, that's just in general in the running industry, the people that work at the brands, from like the accessories all the way up to, to
100%.
the brand. And the more that people realize that is the case, and that the average consumer did not have those same experiences, like the verbiage changes and all that stuff. So I appreciate you guys. I hope to make it over to the shop.
Let's do it.
I'll help you with that concept of no shoes. We can figure that out.
Let's do it.
We'll
We can figure that
we'll
out.
also make some guacamole on site.
Dude, I am
Yeah.
all about
Listen,
it. Who doesn't love guacamole?
Listen, if you're making fresh guacamole when I walk in the door at a
Yeah.
run store, I might not leave the store. But
I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. This is hard what you're doing. You guys are bringing great energy. I've been watching you guys. You're bringing great energy all day.
all day
That's
So
long.
keep
plan.
it going.
Yeah, thank
Can I
you
get
so
you
much.
some water or anything?
No,
You guys.
Yeah,
you
I
guys
mean,
good?
you could bring me water,
I
coffee,
know you got some ketones
whatever.
here,
Yeah,
but,
we got the
yeah,
ketones
keep up the
popping
good
right
work.
now.
Keep
My
up
brain
the
is
good
on
work.
is firing.
And I'm thrilled that Christina and the crew has decided to do this. It's really cool, really fun. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thank you so
guys
much.
having
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
thank you,
me.
excited.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah.
you, guys for your time for
All right.
sure.
Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you.
guys.
Thanks for the hat too.
Yes,
Kathy.
yes, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for nothing, Chris.
That's all, Kathy.
Literally didn't bring us anything. That's fine. That's fine. We won't remember that next year. All right. Yeah. So I think Gary, I feel like I'm firing on all cylinders. I've come up with 2 ideas and I haven't seen you like really produce any ideas. I mean, you've been contributing to the conversation for sure.
It's all in here, Tommy.
So it's gonna be like
It's all in-
after
It's on here.
a copy all email that's gonna come up with all the ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You having fun yet, Gary?
This is a blast.
Blast.
I'm having a blast. I love watching people's faces as they walk by and kind of like figure out what's going on.
What's happening? Next up, we got Outside Inc. We got Andrew Lau, social media director, and Melanie Mitchell, brand director. What's up? What's up?
Come on up. Let's continue our conversation from last week.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was so much
So
fun.
make sure throw on the headphones so you
Get
can
some
hear
headphones.
yourself.
Hey guys.
Throw on your headphones so you can hear,
Oh,
and then also make sure that you're speaking to the microphone so
Yeah,
the
speak
people at
right into
home
it.
can
And
hear.
if you need to, you can take it off. Take the microphone off.
Yeah, it's up to
Yeah.
you. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to hold something, you know.
Yeah. For sure. Well, number one, if I could just open this up by saying thank you to you all, because we had a conversation with you all last week or so about this event at TRE and then the live stream, and we thought it was important that this kind of like got out a little bit more, and so people could like see what's happening, tune in, and a story about the event and PR projects involvement in live stream went up on the site and social, and it was really great, and we really appreciated the attention and love. So thank you so much, guys.
Hey, you're welcome.
Absolutely.
And I'll if you want to just post like 75 pictures in a row of me on your social,
Us.
I think us fine on your social. Sure, I think that would help with the engagement.
I got a keyboard shortcut for your handle,
Just-
so I
yeah.
can just tag you.
Yeah. What is the
exactly.
shortcut? Control TR.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
TR.
that's it. I knew
Yeah.
it. So yeah. So are you guys excited to be here?
Oh, 100%. This is kind of like our Super Bowl.
Yeah, some people train for Boston. We train for 48 hours at TRE. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the endurance
How
event
to
of the year.
how to stand on concrete for hours at a time.
Exactly. We've got it
Yeah,
down.
and definitely don't forget to put water in your water bottle when you put it in your backpack
Mm.
for the day.
Mm,
Oh,
Trust me.
no. Oh
mm.
no.
Wait, you don't have any water?
Absolutely not. No.
It's okay. I mean, I feel like water is overrated in so many ways.
No, espresso, however, is not overrated.
Espresso
No.
is not overrated. It's underrated.
Underrated
actually.
for sure.
All we
Yeah.
really need is ketone IQ. So
Ketone IQ. if you want to walk around all day, ketone IQ. So like, let's talk about this. So social media director, your social is actually dope. So appreciate your work on that. What energy are you like putting into are you feeling right now from the running industry, and how is that playing into like what you're posting?
Hey, it's funny that you mentioned that. For those that don't know, I actually went to Tommy's event yesterday. It was co-hosted by Kafuzi, and you guys really dove into social media specifically for the running industry, and it was really helpful. It was very informative. It was a lot of run specialty stores in there as a part of the audience, but everyone can take something from what you dove into. And I think one of the key pieces that you touched on that I really appreciate is the authenticity of working with content creators such as
Mhm.
yourself and others, and how we can essentially work together as brands and content creators to enhance each other's authenticity.
Mm.
And when it comes to connecting with our audiences, I think the only way to really essentially speak to our message in a more authentic way is to work with specific people in the environment, in the audience of the running world, and essentially connect with individuals more than a group of people. So it's great to see a face that you recognize a lot in content. I think people connect with that. Eventually you feel like that person's friend, even though you've never met them before. but you really understand their message, you believe in the message, maybe that's why you follow them. And when you're working with a media publication such as us, it's really great to essentially learn from your authenticity, but also speak to our own larger format of content. And I think there's a lot that we can play off each other with. And I think that's the biggest piece there. And also paying your content creators is a big step too.
Can you, I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
I said, pay your creators.
Okay. Okay. That's a cool concept. I like that. Keep, yeah.
We'll put it in captions there.
Yeah. I appreciate your input so far onto the live stream. All right. And so Melanie, brand director, dope title, by the way. I love that.
Thank you.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? So Outside, I think a lot of people know Outside because of Outside Magazine.
Yep.
Outside Inc. is actually our parent company, and within Outside Inc. we have a whole family of brands, and within that we have women's running, we have trail runner, we have robust running content on Outside itself. And so brand director, I'm overseeing the running part of the business and also our endurance part, which also involves Triathlete Magazine as well. Lots of runners do triathlon. So yeah, that's really what I come in and oversee. We are, as we grow the company, we've been bringing together this whole ecosystem. I like to think of us as can I say this? The Netflix of the outdoor industry.
No, you can't say that.
I can't say that one anyway, whatever.
Do it. Do it.
So,
We'll bleep you out.
when people come to Outside,
Well, edit and post, yeah.
we think of it, let's go as a department store where you can come in and there's something for everyone in there. If you're a skier, there's something for you. If you're a yogi, there's something for you. If you're a runner, but then you come in and you start to discover, well, actually, there's other things in there for me as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, media has changed a lot. It's where we really see our sweet spot. We've got a TV channel now, which we're launching a program on today, in fact, on Outside, called The Outside Show.
Where can people find that?
We have an app, and you can also find it on things like on your smart TV and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
My teenager would answer that much better than me. But,
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'll have my
So
daughter figure it out.
It's on those channels.
Outside Watch
Thank
is
you.
the app.
Okay.
Gary needs to, if you could tell him what an app is,
If that's
that'd
true.
be good.
Your teenager will tell you.
She'll tell me.
Yeah.
Or my 8-year-old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She'll just show you and roll
Yeah.
her eyes. So I mean that's what we're setting up Outside here, and obviously from a running perspective, Andrew and I actually do come from run specialty originally, so we were fully immersed in the retail side of running for many years and experienced the pandemic with those people, and we saw that massive uptick of people adopting running in whatever form spoke to them. It could have been starting walking, it could have been jogging, it could have been setting their own personal goals during the lockdown. And we can see that is now translating over to people coming to our media outlets, to reading our publications, to finding us on social media. And there's a level of excitement that I think has been brought to bringing those new runners into the industry that we are beginning to see. It's like people are discovering marathoning for the first time, and they are so excited. And I think from a running brand perspective is those people came in as a blank slate. They didn't really have any preconceived notions about running brands and the different types of shoes. So from run specialty perspective, they can go into a store and they're like, I'm a blank slate. Just tell me, show me, let me experience them. And that helps to bring excitement back to our jobs as well. To when someone's excited about something, and if you've got kids, if they get excited about something, you get excited about it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And we're seeing what we can then give via our media outlets with regards to articles, with regards to interviews. Yeah, we will always cover the running news and the elite end of the sport, because that really is what is inspiring to all of us. But then when we look at, let's help you do your first 5K. Let's help you train for your first half marathon. Let's take you along on that journey. And hate to say it, runners get injured. And there is nothing more leveling for all of us than if you have an Achilles problem, suddenly everyone's, Googling, I just need this to be resolved. I don't care whether I'm an elite marathoner or I'm a 5K.
It's going to take 2 to 3 weeks, or you need to stretch or whatever. They want to see what's the fastest way.
You'll be okay tomorrow.
That's
what they need.
Which is not true.
Or you're like me and you just like WebMD and see like, is my leg broken?
Well, you go to WebMD and then you're not going to make it out.
You could be Achilles, you could be dying.
Yeah. Oh, you have you rolled your ankle? Sorry.
Well, sorry, man. Get your affairs in order.
I also think that new interest in discovering injuries, how to fix them, what's prehab, what's rehab. I think an important topic that we're kind of doubling down on culturally is the psychology around being injured. And I think this new wave of interest, all these new people, it's a great moment to kind of set up that psychological foundation for these new runners, saying it's okay to be injured. It's okay to let go of the sport while you recover. It's great to separate your sense of self-worth from the sport. It's pretty dangerous when both kind of combine together, and we all go through those moments.
I think new runners and veteran runners have to learn to like just relax.
Yeah.
And you're not going to lose all that fitness.
Exactly.
And you're not going to, your day's not ruined, your week's not ruined.
Yep.
You just got to do the right things to get back into the sport, and then start doing again what you love.
I mean, but if it does take you out for a little bit,
It's
that's okay. That's
It's
okay too.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that identifying as like only a runner, and or it's just such a huge part of your identity that like when it's taken away for months or weeks or whatever it is.
Well, I think
tough.
that's where running communities come in.
Yeah.
Let's face it, if you've got a running club and you're all running, at some point a certain percentage of those people are going to be injured or out or taking a break. And when you're part of a running community where you can also tap into the injured crew when you need to, that there's some solidarity there as well, I think is really where the running community really comes together. It's like they're there with you through the ups and the lows and the PRs and the non-PRs. And let's face it, most of us have un-PR'd on many occasions as well. And that's really, your worth isn't tied up in that.
No,
I keep saying it's not world peace. It's not world peace, people.
And as the name of the company suggests, there's other things to do outside.
Yeah.
We talked about that on our call last week.
Nice plug.
Thank you. On our call last week, though, we talked about the importance of especially children just getting outside.
Yep.
So even if you can't go for a run per se, there's other things that you can be doing, with your kids, without your kids, whatever. Just kind of just keep moving, keep active any way you can. Indoors too, I suppose, but really outside.
Right.
Yeah.
You might find a new passion, a new hobby that you didn't know you would like until you tried it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cycling, for example, you might end up liking cycling more than running, and that's okay too.
I don't know about that, man.
We're trying to raise triathletes.
Yeah. Well, first off, if you're trying to raise triathletes, if you could lower the price of bikes, that'd be great.
That would be very helpful.
We'll get on that for you.
Yeah, please, thank you.
Yeah.
When you let me know how you fare in that. So, like to talk about the outside magazine, social, and then and the website. Have you seen people use your platforms and find like different sides of sport though, or side like because it's very siloed, and just to be honest, like not your platform, but just like athletics in general.
Yeah.
If you're a runner, you're a runner, and you just mentioned cycling, and I almost fell off my chair, so it's like, how do you segue and like lean people into finding new parts
like we're saying with Outside Watch, our TV channel. I say we're launching the program today, the Outside Watch show, and that will cover different sports. And I think back in the olden days, there was this thing called ABC Wide World of Sports that covered everything. That so many people have said, well, I discovered skiing or I discovered whatever just by watching that program. You come into, you enter the outside platform through one sport, and you can easily navigate across that. And I think, let's face it, just went to a presentation on Gen Z yesterday, and they were talking about how these people don't want to be defined. They don't want to be defined as I'm a runner. That goes against their nature, which raising teenagers, I can attest that is very true.
Same.
So I think, looking forward is, the question there was, will these Gen Zers become the runners of the future? Will they be that, the big demographic of that 30 to 45-year-olds? And the jury's out right now as to whether they will define themselves as runners or not. So I think, there is more open generation coming, that they won't put themselves in a box, and they'll try running, and then they'll go and try something else, and they'll running might be the common denominator, but they might not define themselves specifically with that name.
Well, that'll be big changes for everybody here as well. So everybody will have to adapt then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I get we appreciate and love your time here and all that you guys do in and around the sport. So thank you. Keep pushing forward. Where can people find you right now?
So on social, it's going to be
Yeah. Oh God. Where,
Yeah,
where do we
we
start?
have a
Right.
lot, yeah.
Here we go. Write it down, everyone. So we've got Outside Run. We have Trail Runner Mag, and we have Women's Running Mag on socials. The Outside is just Outside Magazine. You'll
Outside
find us
Mag.
there as well. So we have a lot of platforms.
Triathlete.
And
Triathlete Mag.
they all lead to the same world.
And we try to tag each other too. Again, speaking to connecting the siloed sports.
Mhm.
We do reshare a lot of our own content, but not in a a vain way, just in a supportive of all sports kind of way.
No,
I mean,
get it.
I share my own content in a vain way. Like I have a burner account that I share my own stuff on. So it's like, dude, this guy is amazing. That's what they've
Just tagging yourself back and forth. Yeah.
But thanks so much for your time, guys. We
Thank you both.
we appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, I look forward. I know some big things are coming in 2024, so we look forward to seeing that. Really pay attention to what's going on with Outside Mag. They have some exciting things coming up in the near future.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
rest of the show.
All right,
Thank you
yeah,
so
we will.
much.
We'll try.
Get outside.
Well, we can't. So
Next year though.
Yeah.
don't take the headphones with you.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because that'll be catastrophe. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be the first
Thanks so
blooper
much.
of the show.
Yeah.
Great to
I
see you.
should
Good luck
do
with
it
the
just
rest
for
of the
that.
day.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
so yeah, guys, make sure you check out Outside Mag, Outside on Instagram as well. And you'll see our wonderful, handsome faces. Well, I'll speak for myself on the handsome side. But yeah, so next up, I'm excited. I think we're doing good so far.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the next guests.
Yes.
So we have Caspar Capetti, co-founder of On, and then Eduardo, I'm not going to butcher your last name, global head of product. Step on in, guys. How you doing?
Casper.
Yeah. How's it
Thanks
going,
for having
Caspar?
us.
Good.
Hey, how are
Jump
you?
in. Headphones.
Get your headphones on,
And then feel free to just grab, take the mic off the stand there, or just get super close. Yeah. So On, what's up, man? How are you feeling to be on the live stream? I'm gonna try my best not to say.
We're gonna do
on.
all the puns we
extra.
can find every
Yeah.
single time.
How you doing?
Okay, we're just happy to be back in Austin. This is where a big part of the On story started, as far back as 12 years ago.
Mhm.
And so this feels like homecoming. This is where the industry comes together. It's usually at the end of the year, and everybody's in a festive mood. So it's cool to be here. What about you, Ed?
Feel great. I mean, looking at the energy around the brand right now, and being in here also in the streets, like running this morning, feels amazing.
Yeah, that was really cool. Tommy and I went out for a couple of runs. Well, one run today, but a couple of events already this morning. Just seeing everybody out and nerding out over all the different things that are here and just talking running. It's a runner's nerd paradise, that's for sure.
So On has an interesting beginning. I feel like it started a little differently than some of the other brands. Like, can you talk about like the inception of On and what the founding platforms were of the shoe?
Yeah, the original idea or the need was to keep runners away from injuries. And my co-founder Olivier, who was a very good triathlete, one of the best in the world, 6-time Ironman champion, 3-time world champion, he tore his Achilles tendon and couldn't run anymore. And so he was open to trying new things, and he started working with a Swiss engineer, and they came up with a system that you actually retrofitted on existing shoes. He was in the Nike global team at the time, and helped him stay away from injury. And we felt that this could be relevant to runners, and we ended up founding this company together with an aim of bringing it to as many runners as possible. We thought maybe we would, if we ever make it, we will make 20 million in revenue. That was kind of our long-term, like 10-year plan.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you passed that.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
assuming.
we completely failed on that forecast.
yeah. You failed in the best way possible.
Right.
No,
Right.
and it's cool now. It's no longer just injured runners, but like a lot of people enjoy On products.
Yeah.
In different ways, and makes if they move more because it's a little bit more comfortable, a little more cloudy feeling, then we're achieving our mission.
No, you guys are having I feel like On is having a really like a super growth this past couple of years. A lot of athletes are doing well. A lot of your elite athletes are doing well. The Cloud series has really kind of boomed I know that, no pun
That was a
intended.
good one. Good one,
But
Gary.
it really, I think more and more folks are really kind of coming across On as a running shoe for comfort, for speed. And so you want to talk about like a little bit about the boom that you're seeing in terms of the cloud era and
Yeah, maybe I can talk a little bit about that, and you want to maybe touch upon the On Athletics Club, right, Ed? Hey, look, we're blown away. I mean, especially in the U.S., as a European brand to break through in this market is not something you'd expect. And this is now about almost 2/3 of our business is over here.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So Ed and I we work on the running product together, and we're actually designing for a U.S. consumer.
Okay.
Because in the end, trends that resonate here, they will resonate everywhere.
Yeah.
And the big shift that we've seen when we started on running was about blood, sweat, and tears. It was hard. It was like, it was a fight, right?
Yeah.
And now it's all about comfort. And we started with the promise of running on clouds. It was soft. That's why in the beginning we appealed especially to a female audience. Now comfort and just softness is I think it's everywhere. And especially in the US, we know you guys, in Europe, we still have a lot of, gravel paths and so on. You guys run on concrete, right?
Yep.
And so if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
True.
Oh wow,
I've heard that.
I guess I didn't think
Yeah.
about the difference in that. Having more paved trails and paths here, and that just meaning we need a different thing. So, because I always hear, like the U.S. wants more comfort versus, and it seems like it's like, oh, we just want to be more comfortable, and that's probably true. But it also is a difference in the surfaces and things we run on, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, where we live, there are a lot of mountains as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, in the US, I would say a lot of cities, a lot of people in the cities, and just what we love to do is being obsessed with the consumer and the runner, understanding who they are, what they run, what they want, and really delivering not only products, but we call them experiences.
I like
that,
I like that.
I like
Yeah.
experiences. Yeah.
And really experiences that enable them to do what they want to do, to get out of run, or maybe to run fast and win. And
maybe one of the the experiences we want to push, we mentioned the athlete success, right? So
Mhm.
the way we've set up the On Athletics Club is quite unique. First of all, they train as a team, and
Yep.
they really have that team spirit. Even when Helen O'Beary won New York 2 or 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
10 people on the team came out from Boulder just to support her, including Jared Goose, who
That's
happens to be
fantastic.
one of the fastest
Mhm.
people, period, on the track, right?
Yep.
That usually doesn't happen in track and field, right? So working with these athletes, one of the aspirations that we have is how can we take these technologies that hopefully will help Helen win an Olympic gold medal next year.
Woo.
How can we bring them to average consumers, average runners that don't run they're not aspiring for a sub-2 marathon, they're aspiring a sub-5 marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the e-bike for runners? That's something we're discussing quite a bit. I know you're passionate about that. So how do we bring these new materials, these lighter technologies to everyday product?
And you talk about OAC, but I think there's a company spirit. So I think the fun we're having in the office making these products is something we want to reflect on athletes and also with the everyday runner. And I think running used to be hard and boring.
Yeah.
And running being fun is about getting together and having fun together. And I think this is our culture and something we carry from every day at work down to the streets where people run. And I think that's part of the momentum we're on.
And Casper, so as one of the founders, to like if you grab one of the shoes from 5 years ago even, and then compare it to say like a Cloud Surfer or a Cloud Eclipse, the silhouette's somewhat the same, but it's a pretty extreme difference. So if someone really liked or didn't like one of the shoes in 5 years ago, it could be a dramatic difference now. How does that feel as a co-founder that was probably very attached to what the company started as? How did you work through that to change? I'm sure there was like stages of grief in some way.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, just from our history, Olivier was a pro triathlete.
Yeah.
So he liked very fast, very direct footwear, pretty firm. And when I got more involved, in running shoe development. So Ed and I, we've been working on this very closely together. That the main goal was to make the brand more accessible to more runners and to every type of runner. And so what we're seeing today, and we're actually super happy with it. Like over half of our sales are with product that didn't exist even 18 months ago.
Right.
Like Monster, like Runner, like Surfer. These are all new silhouettes. And they're all working, and they're all getting really good traction, which is, in this industry where it's all about, then this is the version 319 of a specific shoe. That's pretty unique.
Yeah.
But now going forward, I think consumers or runners will want more consistency from On, so they can go back to that style that they're in love with.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, we're not gonna slow down on innovation, but we're gonna be a little bit more intentional on how quickly or how strongly we renovate or innovate our product.
And yeah, to add to that, I would say again the obsession with the consumer, really understanding how we had to evolve to really get to reach out to more consumers and to be very inclusive, which is a big important thing for us. And I think also just getting the right people in house to be able to do best in class running shoes as well.
Yeah.
And I think consistency will come. And at the same time, I think what is unique at On is not just looking at what everybody else is doing, but looking at where the consumer is going, where materials, construction, manufacturing is going, and sustainability, obviously, and really leading what's happening. That's the fun part.
Yeah, because I feel like On did a really great job over the last few years in being one of the first brands that just seemed like, not that it let go of what it was doing, but very quick to like jump into a direction that the consumer needed it to go. Because so many brands in just any industry will hold on a little longer than they maybe should, lose people to new upstarts and things like that. And if you look at some of the shoes that have come out in the last year, like you said, it almost looked like it's like you had a meeting and say, hey, we're changing up everything.
Yeah, well, we're very grateful that we have a fan base that is looking for innovation from On, and they're willing to go along. Our ethos, and Ed, you mentioned it, like we want to bring bolder innovation to market faster.
Yeah.
And luckily we have a consumer that comes along with us. Our average retail price is about $30 higher than the industry average. So that also allows us to just pack better materials, crazier innovation into these products because we can afford to do so.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, whenever I love the Cloud Surfer. I didn't think that whatever the shoe is next, I didn't really think that it would be better than the Cloud Surfer for me for that type of run. And then
it's also my favorite shoe.
Then the Cloud Eclipse came out, much different shoe, but it's a perfect pairing with that shoe. If you like the Cloud Surfer and the way it feels, it's like this is it, Cloud Eclipse, but it may be just for those longer runs.
Right.
Yeah, that's also what we want to build now. Build up on our successes, and we, instead of adding more models, we want to grow these families.
Yeah.
And the Surfer is a family. The Surfer that is the foundation of it, and Surfer like the Eclipse is gonna kind of grow that family, and you'll see more there. And I think the idea is really like capitalizing on what you love about the Surfer. How do we create a range of products that you will connect to?
Eventually you'll all get older like I am. And so
I'm not getting it. I'm not gonna get any older.
You need that extra stack.
I'm not getting it. I'm not gonna get any older. I'm staying right here. I'm
as somebody who is already older, I appreciate
much older.
No. And I didn't. Anyway, I appreciate the Cloud Monster for sure. I was like, these are so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Cloud Monster is probably the product that kind of flipped that switch that you were mentioning, where people are like, oh wow, this is exciting. It's On, but it's extremely runnable.
Yeah.
And this is a word we hear a lot. Like we try to make relevant product.
Yeah.
And we have five unique experiences, and we're really looking forward to now bringing some of that OAC magic, from the Boom Helen's shoe, but we're learning on the track as well to kind of products for everyday runners. I think that's the next frontier, and I personally feel like there's no limit. Like we're gonna see a $300 running shoe before you know it.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, we saw that 500.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying a $300 running shoe that average people running every day.
Okay, gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because if you think about it, running for many people is the one time in the week or day when they're truly happy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're not distracted. They don't have anxiety, and that should be worth more than $140.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good way to put it too, because I think a lot of times when people are starting to see the increase in running shoe prices, they're like, "Oh, can I afford that?" But that's kind of a good way to put it. Like, what kind of price do you want to put on your peace of mind? It's we just saw an article in Runner's World where they're talking about the mental health aspects, the positive mental health aspects of running, versus going to see a therapist. They're starting to kind of converge a little bit more. So that's a good way to
we
put
actually
it.
just did some research where we actually put like a helmet on people, and it has like 3,000 points where they measure your brain activity. And if you run, like your brain fires up,
Yeah.
and you're just more engaged, you're more creative, you're more happy. And as little as 5 minutes of running will get you in that mindset, in that mind space. And so, I don't think there's a price limit to that.
So as we wrap up, because we're trying to make sure that we don't have the next guest waiting too long. But I wanted to ask a question that I think is super important. On has done a really great job in tapping into the communities in a very cool way. We got the opportunity to go to Nashville and do one of the on squad races, and it was so fun. But to be a brand that's not a US based brand, where in the culture of the company does stuff like the on squad race, like how does that happen for a brand, and how does it connect so well to the American culture, not being an American company?
Well, we have like our brand values, and there are three that are important. Like the explorer spirit. We try to do different things. The team spirit and the positive spirit. We all come from a very optimistic place.
Yeah.
And so the local teams have a lot of leeway to do what they think is relevant and what's cool, and we're innovating. We're trying things out. I remember the first year we came here, they had a carpet across this trade show. And we took a knife and we cut it out. We got in real big trouble. But look at this now. No more carpets, right? So we're changing the way TRE is being put on.
You guys really got to stop innovating, man. It's getting
they probably
ridiculous.
they just couldn't afford a new carpet, so they went straight to this is a beautiful floor, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, the way running evolves. I mean, I think you got to look at what's happening and people running in communities. Culture is coming into running, and I think understanding that and being part of this is the only way we're gonna succeed. So, that's what we do.
Well, thank you so much, guys. We're definitely gonna stop by the on booth because it is amazing as always. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
a lot.
Thank you.
So much. Good to see you. Good to meet you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't forget you got headphones on.
Yeah.
That happens every now and then.
They'll snap you right back here. So
yeah. No, I think that's so cool. I think one thing that I'd have to say that On does really well is listening to their customers and listening
their customers and their developers and their athletes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's just a great everything they're doing in such a fast pace, and then like you said, like attaching to these community events, they're listening, you know, and it's felt. So yeah, dope.
Let's,
Go grab yourself a pair of On shoes.
Let's welcome on OS first.
Let's come on.
Next guest.
OS first. Next guest.
We got some sock samples coming up. I see some Christmas socks up there.
Are they coming bearing gifts? That's I mean, like,
no, look at the feet.
Oh man, does anybody have coffee? So we have John Higgins, president of the company.
Josh.
I'm sorry.
Josh.
It's if I can read, that's a problem.
Need some help there?
Can you hand me an ankle? Thank you. So do you get? Oh,
yes.
I have this sock, by the way. Thank you guys so much for. I got a nice little haul of socks. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah. Actually, let's move in a little bit. You move to that one, and then I'll move right
on over one.
Yep.
All right.
Awesome. Oh man, coffee. All right, Josh, how you doing, man?
Put this guy on.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing great. So tell me a little bit. So for folks at home that haven't heard of OS First, or they've seen it and they're just not really sure what's going on, tell me a little bit about the company in the background, and then we'll fast forward to 2023 Austin, Texas.
All right. So started the company in 2015. My father and I started it. He had this great idea. You know, my mother had plantar fasciitis. He had he has a background in compression, and he figured out a way to treat plantar fasciitis through a compression sleeve.
Okay.
So we patented what we call compression zone technology. And what that means is we vary the levels of compression inside of each one of our bracing products to treat different injuries and conditions.
You can take that off of there. Just give it a Aerosmith style.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right.
And honestly, it really works. So the most important thing about this product is it takes the swelling out, promotes blood flow, and whether you're weight bearing or not weight bearing, it keeps that plantar fascia stretched.
Oh, okay.
So it was a great idea. Honestly, we thought it was going to be, you know, a good excuse to have like quote unquote board meetings at the beach kind of thing. You know, next thing you knew, we sold a lot. It was actually the product of the year at TRE.
Oh,
first year we launched. So that was kind of fun. And then we decided, oh, well, we better get to work. This is a real company.
Yeah.
So we did knee braces, ankle braces, elbow, wrist, calf sleeves, really focused on medical grade compression and treating injuries and trying to keep people active.
Yeah. So like so when it comes to like the running community, like so when they go to the website, and a company that has so many great offerings for many different reasons, it can be like, hey, what am I looking at? Like, how do what part of this website do I need to go to? Like, so for runners, like what should they be looking forward to when they hit your website?
Oh, at this point, when you get to our website, we're really talking about socks with purpose.
Okay.
So, you know, being number one in the compression bracing world, that's great.
Yeah.
But, you know, once you get better, you don't buy another one.
Yeah.
It takes a while. So we launched, we got into the sock business. My father was the president of a company called Thorlove for years. I was the president of a company called Hickory Brand. So we both have a lot of sock background. So we were like, okay, so we really want to get into the sock business, and because that's actually a consumable, people wear it, people buy it, people buy more of it.
Yeah.
But we knew we'd have to do something different. There's a lot of great sock brands here, and with you'll walk around, there's a lot of them.
Oh,
and
sure.
they're all great.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to do something different, right? So we had the plantar fasciitis category locked up. We had a patent for it, so we created the plantar fasciitis sock. And honestly, from there, we created a sock for bunion relief.
Okay.
So all of our products, they're 200 needle, they're left-right specific, moisture wicking, silver antimicrobial, Wygor heel seamless. I think that's it. So basically, that's what you'd expect from a performance sock. And then we add our purpose. And so the plantar fasciitis sock, obviously, that's the purpose for that. And then we created a bunion sock, which is a split-toed sock.
Okay.
And got a little bunion pad on the outside because it is left-right.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a sock for diabetics. We've got a sock for somebody with wide feet.
Yeah.
We've got a thin sock, a medium sock, a naked.
Yep.
And now we're launching here our Wicked Comfort sock. But the point of that really is we wanted to design a sock line that was completely different from what was available in the market now, and for stores to be able to create an experience for their consumers.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody wants to do something custom. So when they come in, they sit down in front of you, and as soon as the sock comes off, the shoes come off, then they tell you everything, right?
Sure.
So they say,
I mean,
you know
yeah.
what? You got a wide sock, you got plantar fasciitis.
Right,
It gives them something they can grab.
If I'm around somebody and they pop their socks off, you better tell me something. You got to give me some more. You know, you gotta
That's
give me some
right.
more information. What's happening
If
right
I
now.
have to touch that, you better tell me something.
Yeah, like by the time
I need secrets.
Yeah, by the time the stock comes off, we have to have a conversation. So I understand that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So like once you get there, I don't know. When you said that, I'm like, yeah, I need to know more about you now. You know what I'm saying? So now that so you've been coming to TRE since the beginning.
You know what?
Of your
at the beginning of my career.
Yeah, of your career. Yeah.
So I don't know that I've ever been to a show more than Austin, Texas.
Awesome. So like So when you come here, especially since you've been coming here year after year, what do you, when you're flying here, like what are you excited about to when you get to TRE?
Well, all of it.
Yeah,
all of it. Take away the bars.
Yeah.
The people.
Yeah.
And this is such a fun industry, and it's like working with friends. So you see the same people every year. Most of these stores have been around. You see some new stores. You end up talking to them. So it's really the community.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a great industry.
What are like since I mean for the most part, Jimmy, you're talking to retailers to educate them on like what your offerings are and what why they're different, why the new upgrade of a certain sock that they may have in their stores, what's next in that line. What do you hear from the retailers about like what their feedback is from their customers that you kind of lock into, like that's good information and we'll make more of that?
Well, it's that going back to the Socks with Purpose story is everybody wanted to have a reason to come back and shop local, right?
Yep.
So you create these custom experiences. So you hear that over and over and over is how do you make that connection so that people will come back into the store instead of going online?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the
so that's what we focus on is what do we do to drive people into retailers? And honestly, our website's not geared to sell online.
Yeah.
Our website is geared to send people to our independent local retailers.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I mean,
it's like an informational website to say, look, this is what we provide. Now go find it over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our social media is the same way. I mean, we really partner with the independent retailers.
Yeah. How obviously it's important to you, but like why is that? I mean, why is that important to you all? Like the direct relationship with the retailers in the communities.
You know, I think it's long-term brand vision for us. Our goal isn't to just be independent going to the consumers, right? If we don't have a solid independent running channel, then a lot of us are not going to be around.
Right.
So our goal is at least do our part to support them, and hopefully they'll turn that around and support us.
Exactly.
So buy more socks.
Yeah, no, I think that's what was unique to me, and that's like one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure we did this live stream. Is to I think the first year I came here, I wasn't sure, I didn't realize how important the relationships between the brands and the retail shops were, and that this whole thing is literally to establish and build on those relationships, because like you said, you take out the local run shop and just like cripple them by selling directly all the time to the consumer. It takes away that what the community really wants, like right. There's no way for the gatherings to happen and really find out more information about the customers in certain markets, and we had someone else before you guys on the show that literally like listens to their consumers in the entire market and builds basic shoes with brands because of their feedback. Yep. So without that retailer, that couldn't have happened.
Right. No doubt about it. And you've got, with just direct to consumer, you don't have run clubs.
Yeah.
You're not building the sport. That's what these guys do.
Yeah. No, for sure. This is my wife, who's not a runner, but she's done a handful of 5Ks or gone to events to see me run. That's the one thing she talks about. Is the community aspect of it all. And I think that's what most non-runners, once they get into it, they realize, it's a positive space where people share ideas, share gear and talk about, what's next. So
speaking of what's next, Gary, good segue. How'd you know I was going with what's next? There we go. What are you excited about for the brand in 2024?
Well, if you haven't come by, come check out the booth. We're launching a new sock called Wicked Comfort.
Okay.
So I'll tell you, every product we have right now until today has been manufactured in Taiwan. And I come from a manufacturing background in the U.S. So does my father. And we're launching this sock, Wicked Comfort, and it's made in the U.S. So pretty proud of that.
Yeah,
We're really
awesome,
happy about
awesome.
it, and it adds a really nice extension to our line. So it's this sock right here in front of us. It's 200 needle, left, right, moisture wicking, silver antimicrobial, same bells and whistles we just talked about. But we've created our own trademark yarn called Conformance, and it wicks moisture 5 times faster than other leading brands,
Oh,
and
wow.
it is twice as durable for a $15.99 retail, and
That's not bad.
it's super soft, very comfortable, and it adds a max cushion aspect to our line.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think it's like I don't know if you thought of this, and if you haven't, I'll take a check on the side. It's a really great time for that because it's about to be winter running in like most parts of the U.S. here, and it's like this is the time where you need something that's a little thicker of a sock that like has a little more comfort to it because you don't want your feet to be too cold, but then you also that's when you start getting sweat of your feet because you're piling on, like it's just a thicker sock, so it gets a little weird, and that's when blisters and uncomfortability comes in.
But
so it's like it's perfect timing.
And really going back to our previous guests, the shoes are more comfortable. The socks should also be more comfortable,
right?
To kind of add to that. So when people are out there, especially here in America with the pavement and the concrete, you want a sock that's going to take care of your foot along with the shoes as well. So I get that.
What is your because when I first got into running, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna wear the socks that I had before. Why would I change? And as you get into running, you start realizing the differences and have a few mistakes happen or some blisters and such. It's like what would you say to that runner that's like I don't really pay attention to socks as much as maybe I should. Like, what do you say to them?
We get that a lot. We get that a lot, and not just in running. We get that in pickleball, which we're sponsoring here too. Is you have to have a good fitting sock. Has to be left, right. You can't have movement, so you have to have a dry foot. Somebody just asked me, why would I not just keep wearing my cotton socks?
Right.
Cotton's a hydrophilic fiber, just sucks up moisture. It's a sponge.
Yeah.
So if you've got moisture against the foot, it makes the foot softer, creates bacteria, and then that shearing force when you're running, it's just going to create blisters.
Yeah.
So it creates an unhealthy environment. So having a sock that doesn't move, that fits the foot well, and keeps the foot dry is very, very important.
Last thing you want for your toes is an unhealthy environment.
Yeah, and it smells bad too.
I mean, that's what I was trying to get to without saying it, but yeah. So, son, if you're listening, I guess I'll buy you some socks that are different than the ones you're wearing because your feet stink. Thank you so much. Where can people find you though? If they're like, yo, I wanna figure out a little bit more about the brand before I hit the retailer.
All right. Well, we're at osfirst.com. You can go to the website. You can learn everything, but hit that find it locally button, and it'll tell you right where you can go find the socks.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And I've been wearing I wore the travel socks here on the airplane, which are super comfy. And I took out the I forget the name of it now, but one of the I don't think it was the Super Wick one, but I took out a pair for a run as well. So I appreciate the opportunity to try them out.
All right. Thanks, Barry.
He's actually been wearing these Christmas ones every day, apparently, from what I hear.
I have to wait till December. That's Christmas time, yeah.
Okay. All right. So starting later on this week, you'll be able to catch Gary in the Christmas ones.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right.
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Gary.
Appreciate
Thanks
you.
so much.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks
Appreciate
so much. Don't forget the headphones. Yeah, man. Take your ankles with you.
Thank you to Stephanie for bringing up her ankles.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That was that's. I mean, I think that you wanna come in, Gary, a little bit more. There you go. Jump on over here. Yeah. So I think that socks are definitely. I'm not gonna tell them that they left the plantar fasciitis recovery kit up here. I'm just gonna keep that on my own. Yeah, socks aren't thought about enough, and I feel like we could do more and check out what's going on with socks.
No, for sure.
Chill out, bro.
Whoa.
Yo,
Hot mic.
hot mic. You are now watching live.
So this is the mic everybody leans back for. So
Yeah.
There
we go. Yeah. So I think the first morning session of day one went pretty well.
Yeah, I think people are excited. I hear there's a buzz in the internet, right, Nick?
There's
Yeah,
a
there we
buzz
go.
on the internet. Apparently, I broke the internets.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Do people
Do
say
people still
broke
do
the
that?
internet still?
People still break the internet? Can we do that?
I mean, I think maybe if you never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I gotta get
yeah,
paid for that.
click on Gary's link in bio. Thank you so much to everybody that's watching the live stream. We are going to jump off the live a little bit here, and we will be checking back in at 1:45 Central Standard Time. That's 2:45 Eastern Standard Time for the folks of you that don't understand the time zone thingies. So yeah, 2:45 Eastern, 1:45 Central, and I think the morning went well. Thank you so much, TRE, for another amazing opportunity to do this. And
thank you to producer Nick as well for helping us.
Shout out to producer Nick, who is doing a really great job helping us out here, getting this live stream popping, and doing a really great job at that.
I think the next one's gonna be our next guest.
Yeah.
So go all the way to the beginning.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there alone. All right, guys, we are going to be signing off, and we will talk to you soon. Make sure you check back live at 1:45. We have I'll just tell you the lineup now. We have Queer Running Society, we have Morel, we have Loa, we have Mizuno, A Runner's Mind, Nike, Pioneers, Fleet Feet Corporate, and Keen. If you check back at 3:00, we have Nike, but then we also have an athlete that's going to be checking in. And apparently he's fast.
He's got some speed.
Apparently he broke a record. Apparently he's not AI.
I haven't seen him yet.
I hope if I can just touch his hand, I'll be able to figure out if he's AI or not. All right, cool. Signing out from TRE.
See you in a few.
Our live stream manager has to hit the end button, and we will see you guys on the other side. Next time, I think I'm going to come with more coffee though, because
I'm needing more.
Super needed it.
Dry mouth.
Yeah.
I need water.
Are we
out? Okay.
Yeah.